Hi there, I'm Fred Cupp, and I've been a model railroader since, 1956 or so. Obviously, I'm one of the old timers, so look. Okay, this is the Little D&H, which is a mythical line patterned after the Adirondack branch of the Delaware and Hudson Railroad. As a kid, I grew up alongside the Delaware and Hudson, so naturally I'm going to model that. The scene that we have here is known as Port Henry, which all of the names on this layout are using the names of the Delaware and Hudson stations on their Adirondack branch. Here we have the Port Henry station with several industries. We have a dairy products industry. We have a warehouse that takes general freight. And we have the Delaware and Hudson classic freight house for all of the less than carload lot traffic. We have, of course, the water tower, and we have a control tower. It's not really interlocking because nothing to interlock, but it controls the switches in this area. We have here also a classic Delaware and Hudson locomotive, the Shark, the Baldwin Shark. They had 3 of these for some period of time in their latter years before the railroad was sold to Canadian Pacific. As we move to the right here, we have the bridge over a right now dry creek, and beyond that we have a lumber and sand operation by the pond there. And then as we go on past, we see the railroad leaving town through a rock cut, and another part of the branch line in the background behind it.
We're ready.
Okay. Behind Port Henry is a large rock formation leading to an upper level. This rock formation was patterned after the Chickalemi Park wall down near Northumberland. I took some pictures of the real thing, and John Cosette, one of the very capable scenery expert, did all of the rock work. It's plaster of Paris, and the rock faces are carved in place by hand. And on top of this escarpment, if you will, we have the town of North Creek. It's not much of a town. It's just hidden away in the hills. We have the town itself, and then just to the right of that we have the depot, which serves North Creek. Hidden behind the backdrop is one of the 2 ilmenite mines on the layout. Okay, leaving North Creek Station, as we pan to the right, we have an upper level of the line, and obviously the object of the game will be to get from the high elevation of the mountains down to Port Henry with the major traffic which comes from just beyond North Creek. There's an ilmenite mine. Ilmenite is the ore from which they get titanium, and the reason for the Adirondack branch really was to bring that titanium down into the to the main line. Titanium is used for a lot of metallurgical things, including such things as turbine blades in aircraft engines. What are you doing? Here we have one of the two ilmenite processing or mining facilities on the layout. This is a small stub end yard, and obviously we have empties waiting to be filled with the ore. There's enough traffic here to warrant a switcher in permanent residence here in the at the mine, and in fact it does move. How about that? If we cut and come over here to the other side now, you can. Okay, this is just an overview of the mine with the ilmenite coming out on a conveyor and going into the processing building, which primarily is a crusher and sorting size to get it down into a good reasonable size to handle in the hopper cars. And again, this is rock carving by Mr. Cosette, who has also done the coloration for the rocks, and even to the point of having grooves that show where there was drilling going on to blast away the face of the rock for the entrance to the mine. Okay. Okay, here is one of the stations on the line. This is Hadley, which is an actual town up in the Adirondacks, and just a small station with one siding for occasional shipments of various products from the area around there. And moving quickly to the right, we have the Barton Garnet Company, which is a real customer on the line. They mine garnet, the red ruby-colored material, which is used mostly as an abrasive for making sandpaper and things like that. Immediately above, we have a branch line coming in that serves as an interchange from another mythical railroad in this case. And so we have some ilmenite cars sitting there on the siding waiting to be shipped out. And we'll pan across that. The background is made from a calendar picture which has been expanded, duplicated, and massaged to make a 6-foot-long backdrop out of a single calendar picture. Okay. That's good.
Let's get that corner.
Okay. Zooming back into the corner, we have a small place called Riverside, which is another one of the real stations on the Adirondack branch. Happens to be supposedly the Hudson River in the immediate foreground. Very small piece of it. And the director says cut. Another one of the places on the real Adirondack branch line is Stony Creek. They used to have a station there that burned down, and the railroad took an old wooden coach and plopped it on the ground out there and says to the agent, okay, there's your new depot and office. And so I patterned this after a photograph in a magazine of the real Stony Creek. And I had a little place on a curve that was about 6 or 8 inches deep, and I wanted to do something with that, and so I put the Stony Creek depot in that with suitable scenery around it, and then completed it with a backdrop, which is the one of the valleys that runs to the west out of Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, along Route 45. I was out there one day up on the hills and just took a picture of this, not realizing that it would make a good backdrop, but later on I just printed it from the computer, used that as the backdrop for this little mini scene. There, the center point on the Adirondack branch begins with the roundhouse. You can't have a railroad without a good roundhouse, and so here we have the roundhouse. This is at Thurman, New York. We have the coaling facility with a couple of engines parked on the siding here. A turntable which is not operative yet at this time, and a few scattered buildings there. You have the lubrication building and the sand tower for we do have some diesel engines also that need servicing. And we also have enough work at Thurman that we have to have a switcher to do various things, and here's a switcher pulling a caboose out and going to start assembling a train. Of course, most everything centers around the depot itself, where we've got some people waiting for a passenger train to come in. Might as well just
Occasionally, okay.
Okay, continuing on to the right, we have the yard itself with all the various cars waiting to go out on different runs. We see a diesel switcher in the background there with a very colorful paint job. That's a historic paint job, has nothing to do with the Adirondack branch line, but it was one from New York State when I lived up there. We have a couple of more cabooses on the caboose track in the beginning here. In the back we see a larger industry, which is a metalworking shop. It's a repair shop on the railroad, has the overhead crane and a number of things. We also have in the foreground the operations office building, the center of operation here on the Adirondack branch, and a few pieces of miscellaneous railroad equipment parked alongside the office building there. And so much for Thurman. You want to show off the starting? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I got it recording now.
Oh, okay.